This is Dr. Jackie with Open and Honest, and my girl.
I'm Dr. Heavenly.
And Dr. Heavenly has some very interesting.
We got an extra exciting show for you today.
Oh my goodness, because her inbox, her DMs, on and popping. Because you know she called herself the relationship expert.
They sending you nude pictures too?
Oh no, I'm not.
In your DM, you don't get that?
No.
Oh, that's why I stopped looking at them, okay? Because people, they don't send you that.
No.
You know what? I don't know why people disrespect me. They don't send stuff to you.
Okay. Well,
That's
why
all
don't you
right.
tell them recently in your inbox, though, what one of our viewers said? Read
I
it.
got her
Just-
name too. You want to put her name
Don't
in
read
it?
her name. Just go ahead and tell us what she said.
It says, Dr. Heaven, my boyfriend never tells me he loves me, yet he expects sex often, and even once told me in a way when I'm on my period, I should still figure out how to help him out.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm just not feeling him sexually, and I know it's because I feel like he's not in love with me. If he treated me like his queen, I would not have a problem helping him out. Whenever, you know, he let me borrow $40 and took it back when I gave it to him.
$40.
Can you believe that? List goes on and on, but to make it short, he doesn't tell me he loves me because he doesn't, right? And if that's not true, then what should he be doing to show me he loves me? I don't know whether to move on or stick it out. Man, I hope you see this.
Well, I can tell you we saw it. And I am just
And let's speak on it.
Okay.
Now, you know, I've been in relationships before, like with well, you know, my mama. She never really told me she loved me, but I knew she did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's so much the word, sweetheart. I think it's the actions. Does he show you he loves you by the way he does things? Does he treat you like he loves you? I think the words are important. I think we do need to hear the words. I love to hear, you know, my husband tell me he loves me. But sometimes men are just not,
verbal like
they're
that.
not like that. Because I know some men that they don't say that.
But let's dissect this sentence by sentence. Yet he expects sex often, and even once told me in a way when I'm on my period, I should still figure out a way to help him out.
What's wrong with having sex when you're on your period? Is something against that, Dr.
No.
OBGYN lady?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, just lay down a towel, right? So it doesn't get messy, right? And have sex. I mean, I think when your period is on, you're emotional and
Your
it's very
hormones are-
sensitive down there. I think sometimes that's the best sex.
However, she started out with saying, my boyfriend never tells me he loves me. So you got to tie those two sentences
You know
together.
what? I'm not gonna say the man don't love her because I don't know the situation, but usually men tell you how they feel about you. If you're marriage material, they'll tell you. If you're not, they'll tell you. But I say again, you have to go by what they show you, not so much what they say. So this is the next sentence.
Let's go to that part, and this will answer your question. You know, he let me borrow $40, 220s, and took the money back when she returned.
Well, she said borrow. She should have said, let me have it.
Let's go back to the top. He never tells me he loves me. He expects me to have sex often. Even when she's on her period, he wants her to figure out a way to please him. And he was nice enough to give me $40.
He didn't give it to you, you borrowed the $40.
However, I'm having sex with him.
So
He
now
doesn't
you get paid to have sex?
Well, you just said he was paying the bills earlier, right?
That's different.
Oh, how?
That's them. Call it what you want to call it. If somebody get up and I get up and he give me $40, I'm gonna feel some kind of way.
No, she,
Borrowed $40, so
Right.
give it back.
and he took it. She thought he was
Well.
going to let her keep the money.
I'm being silly, but I don't like to give this kind of advice because I feel like, you know what, if a man really, really likes you, he ain't gonna try to get that $40 back. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna tell you he love you, right?
Well, that's true. Now,
Most men.
Right.
But I'm not saying because I don't know this dude, so we can't say specifically. But what this question is telling me is that she doesn't feel like he loves her.
And
so
that's
it's more
important.
than just the words.
Right.
Because if you don't feel loved, then you're not.
That's the biggest part of this question that you've been asked tonight. If you have to ask somebody, because she ended this by saying, do you think he loves me? He doesn't tell me he loves me because he doesn't. Right. Question mark.
Right.
So she's asking you, Dr. Heavenly, the relationship expert that you are, do you feel with what she's given us today, he loves her?
I don't know. Honestly, I do not know, but you know. You don't have to ask me that, darling. You already know. You know if he loves you. If you're saying all this, chances are you're thinking that he doesn't. And if you don't feel loved, then you're not loved. Because if somebody loves you, they're going to let you feel it.
And she asked, I don't know whether I should move on or stick it out. What happened?
And you know, my answer to that is always, is he paying the bills? But if it's $40,
he might have needed the 40 to pay the bills. Okay, so let's give you some real advice. If you don't feel loved, if you've got to ask outside relationship experts, friends, families, cousins, co-workers, if we think somebody loves you or not,
that's not good. That's not healthy love anyway. I think that if you're in a relationship, a meaningful relationship, you should know that the person loves you by the things they do, the things they say, the way they treat you, what they give you. It's a lot of different ways to express love. And we always talk about the 5 love languages. You know, you're going to know they love you just by acts of service, being kind to you, rubbing on you, feeling you, telling you, making you feel loved, buying you things, whatever it is. But I feel like you need to know that you're loved. So if he's not making you feel like you're loved, I'm not saying you need to move on. Y'all need to have a conversation. You need to talk to him and tell him how you're feeling. You telling me, Dr. Heavenly, have you told him how you feel? And what is he saying? Say, hey, you know what? You're not telling me how I feel. I don't feel loved when I'm around you. You're not giving me what I need. I feel like $40, you know, and a lot of women express money with love. And it ain't just like we gold diggers, but we know that men that like you spend their money. That's just facts, you know. So if you're gonna get your $40 back, I'm feeling like you don't care about me. If you want sex all the time but you don't want to give me no money, that didn't sound right. But you understand what I'm saying. What are you using me for? Do you just want sex with me? Do you love me? Let's talk about it. And a lot of times men will tell you the truth. They'll tell you. Ask them.
And the other thing we can add to that is we expect men to be our security.
For sure.
Physical security, emotional security, and financially secure.
That's why we get married.
Right. They take care of us in a sense. And so I can understand how that can be very disheartening for you to say, I asked for $40. I'm thinking he gonna let me have the $40.
Right.
But then he took the money back.
She offered it back to
Now
him.
we don't know if you ask for $40 every week and you go and get your nails done, or you're hanging out with your girls, or you getting your hair done twice a week or something. We don't really know that. And so we're basing this answer off of what we think you're saying. But if he took back the $40 and didn't say, hey baby, keep it, or do you really need it, or hey, keep it this time, or say I'm gonna put it in the drawer for you so the next time you need it. We don't know. And we don't want to just stand on money, but it did make you feel some kind of way. And if it made you feel some kind of way, you do have to question whether it's love that you're feeling or not.
Right. And I say again, like, if you don't feel, like you say, if you got to ask me, you know if that man love you. That's why I don't ever give people the advice to lead a man, you know, because I'm not in that relationship. I don't know what he's doing for you, what he does, you know. And a lot of times when you're on TV and stuff gets exposed, but you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, good or bad. So only you know, baby. I started to say Megan, but it ain't Meg Thee Stallion. Only you know. So think about it, pray about it, meditate, and God will give you the answer. You know what it is already, though. I can't make the decision for you, but you know what it is, girl. And if you need any other questions, make sure you reach out to myself or Dr. Jackie. We're here. You know, we positive Black women. We know to uplift and look at other people's relationships, but there's somebody better out there for you. Sometimes it takes being alone to find that right person, because when you're tagging along with somebody else, it prevents you or blocks you from getting that person that you're supposed to be with, I think.
And that's what Open and Honest is all about. If you have some questions that you would like us to comment on, and remember, we're not the only answer, but if you have some questions you'd like us to even address on our Open and Honest platform, please share those questions with us. If you have some other topics you want us to talk about, let us know. And remember, we are doing a lot of laughing and a lot of playing, but when we stop and get serious like we are now, we're serious. But a lot of times when we're laughing, we're just having fun because we want to be the reason that some people smile.
Right. So we want to talk about love and expectations. So give us your opinion on what your expectations are for love, because it's different for different people, correct?
That's absolutely right. My expectation kind of pivots off what she's saying. It is that sense of security that I need, knowing that you got my back, and that you're willing to take care of me, and that you're making sacrifices for me. And I don't think you really understand love until you go through some stuff.
Absolutely.
It's a crisis that seals the deal. When you go through some stuff and you still standing when you come out through that fire, then you could probably say, hey, I love him, or she loves me, or he loves me.
You know what makes me, what I think about when you say love and expectations, and I don't know if you sent me this clip, it might have been you, of Michelle Obama. When she said, you gotta respect one another. You gotta respect one another. And you gotta know that I want you to win. If you're in a relationship, we want each other to win, not just me. And you gotta accept me for who I am. If I'm a strong woman, you gotta be strong to accept a strong woman. And not only that, we don't want no weak people on our team. You know, so those things there is what love is and my expectations. Because a lot of things I'm saying, what love got to do with it if you don't have respect, if you don't have somebody that's uplifting you, there's somebody that's on your team that's a winner, somebody that that's gonna build you up, somebody that's not weak on your team. To me, you could be in love, but that ain't the person you should be with. So that's my expectation, to have those things. And number one is respect.
So does I love you really matter? And we started out with you saying you grew up and you didn't always hear
Right.
those 3-letter words, but you knew that it was love.
I think that the words do matter, but I think the actions matter so much more. So much more. You got to show me, not because a lot of people will lie and say they love you and not do anything for you. I think the actions speak louder than words, but I do still want to hear the words. I do.
So and I think it's important to understand your love language and the person that you're in a relationship with, because I can love you the way I need to be loved, but you don't feel love, it's still not love to you. And so it's important, and you talk a lot about those 5 love language, is to understand your mate's love language so that you can love them the way they want to be loved and not the way you think they should be loved.
That's right.
And so
I agree.
that's going to be really important. And we talked a little bit earlier when we were talking about relationships, whether you can say it was good or not, is understanding that love language, and delivery is important.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the key to that.
You know, with all the songs out there with the City Girls and Meg Thee Stallion and all those people there, you think that money goes with relationships, because that's what they're rapping about. That's what the people are talking about. So do you think him taking that $40 back from her shows that he didn't love her, or that he didn't care about her?
We don't know that, because we don't know how he was raised and whether it was truly in his mind. She borrowed the money, so she gives the money back. Because some men haven't learned how to love. Some men weren't brought up in homes where they saw their fathers teach them how to love a woman. And so we don't know enough about him or her to make that comment, but what we do know is that did something for her. It sent a message, and hopefully over time, whoever he is going to learn his lady, where he can learn to say, something changed, because when she got in bed tonight, she turned her back with her $40, with my $40.
I'm glad you said that. Some people are raised differently, so they don't think that money is important, because I was raised a certain way. If you're not giving money, I mean, it's cliche or whatever, it might not sound right, but if you're not giving me any money, to me, you don't care about me. So maybe she feels that way. I'm sure a lot of women feel that way. Like I was saying, I was joking about the rappers, but women equate money with love.
And I think
they do.
I think the money is security.
It's that security, whether it's
It's
financial or making you feel safe. Yeah.
Right. So I think men were designed to create
Provide.
a sense of security for us, and whether they provide, profess, or protect us is still a sense of security. So, love and expectations is different for everybody. However, it is still important that you are able to articulate what that looks like
Speak
to
to
you.
him, have a conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
You
Should he expect sex from her just because they're dating?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I agree with that
Absolutely
1,000%. Now, if they were married, that's something different, right?
That changes
That changes everything.
So, be careful when you say I do, is to make sure there's an understanding.
But if you want sex from me all the time, I need something from you too. I need to feel emotional. I need an emotional commitment, right? Because I mean, like you say, it's an imprint. We're exchanging something. And if we doing it, I'm going to feel something emotional for you. And if you can't even tell me that you love me.
Now, as a physician who takes care of women, a lot of times women will not articulate to me how they truly feel. They'll get mad, and they'll pout and they won't talk and they're passive aggressive, but they never really tell. And I can tell you this example. When I see a patient in the room for her OBGYN, for her OB visit, and we're measuring and talking about the baby, and her husband's doing this, her whole demeanor changes. It makes her feel disregarded and disrespected. And a lot of them will say, baby, get off the phone. You know, I think that's a conversation you need to have in the car. Like, hey.
Get your ass on.
And so I think we don't always tell people what we really feel or how something makes us feel. And even when they come to the doctor and they come for, you know, a pregnancy loss, and he is still taking text messages. Might be a billionaire still taking text messages. She just needs 10 seconds, 15 minutes of your time. And we don't really say to them.
And then, you know, it's not that they don't love you. Men just don't think a lot of times, you know. They just not thinking. They're just wired differently, you know. Because, I mean, knowing us, we would never, after you saying something horrible happened, like a miscarry, be on a cell phone when something's going on like that. But a lot of times men don't think nothing about it. They're not trying to be mean. They're not trying to be, and it doesn't mean they don't love you. They just don't think like we do.
So
you know?
The moral of the story is to articulate what makes you feel loved and articulate your
expectations. And sometimes when you articulate stuff, it ends up being an argument, though. You know what I mean? Like, I guess my delivery messed up, so that's
10% of
my
conflict happens, 90% is how you do. And so again, learning how and when to articulate your feelings. Like, you can't wait till you walk in the house, he's tired, he worked all day, and you go, baby, let me tell you, these kids all day been doing this, and this bill ain't paid right. You're not gonna get nowhere. Right. I had to learn that part the hard way too.
I think we all have learned
when to say what
to say and when to say it, right?
Yeah. So that's important. But it is important we all feel love. I think we were created by a God who loves us, and he designed us to need love.
And the question here says, how can a woman truly know that her man loves her?
And we said in this question that you got, you know.
Yeah. You know if somebody's on your team, somebody got your back by their actions and show. And I'm gonna say this. I mean, I always knew my husband loved me. I really did. And they always say reality TV is bad for marriages, but I think it made me realize more. You know what I'm saying? Just by watching his actions when I was in conflict, you know, and it was messed up stuff. But he always had my back, and a lot of times I was wrong. Not all the time. But most of the time, I was wrong, and he still had my back. You know how that made me feel? Like, okay, I know she's, you know what I mean? But you ain't gonna, you know.
Disrespect my wife.
Or you're not gonna say that you know, I was like, you know, jokingly, yeah, I trapped him. And then he got up and said, no, she didn't trap me. She was my wife when I was 5 years old. She was my wife. She's always been my wife. So to me, that kind of stuff really made me feel, you know, I always knew he loved me, but dang, I mean, to see it and to see the expression. Right. Let me go. I had to have 6. I'm sorry.
Sit down, girl. Sit down. So I think we want you to make sure you are articulate, not even to just a lover. It's important you let your girlfriends know what you need. You know, you have the ladies who go, I'm not going to call her. She'll never call me. Well, a lot of times,
I feel like that too with some of your friends. I feel like, you know what, I've made a lot of effort a lot of times. This time I'm not doing it. So, you know, that's it. If you care about this relationship, you'll make an effort, because I've had so many other times, and I really ain't do nothing wrong. Y'all wrong me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. And so if you want to make it right. No, this was 702. But, you know what I'm saying? Okay. It was 702. But if you want this relationship, you're going to have to do something. I mean, you ain't got to work for it, but you need to make an effort. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't chasing no hoe. Just like I don't chase men. I would never chase a man. To me, you know, if you got to chase him, you lost him. You know? So, you know. But anyway, they ain't got nothing to do with it. But if you had to talk to this young lady, what advice would you give her? Look in that camera and tell her what you wanted to hear.
What I would say, dear, is love is important to everybody. And you were designed by a God who loves you so much. But he's never made us question whether he loves us or not. He's made it very clear in his word and in his actions, because you woke up this morning that he loves you. And you're in a relationship with a guy, you're having to ask us, you know, pure strangers, if somebody loves you. And you're having to say, I give the most deep and intimate parts of me to somebody who won't even give me $40. I think you have your answer.
Yeah.
I think you already know.
I think the reason she asked, you know, and she specifically said Dr. Hebner, because she know I'm going to tell the truth. I feel like, baby, I don't know, you know, his relationship or whatever, but based on what you're saying on this paper here, It sounds like you don't think he loves you, and that's all that matters. If you don't feel loved, if you don't think he loves you, then that's all that matters. I ain't saying leave because we don't know where you at, but basically, like we said, it got to be a conversation. And if this conversation don't go right, and he don't say the right stuff, then I think you should consider making a change.
And after God, the most important love on this earth is self-love. Gotta love yourself.
For sure.
And if you don't love yourself, or if you love yourself enough to say, no more, I'm not allowing anybody to make me feel and question whether they love me, then you love yourself.
Well, this has been Open and Honest Radio. Catch us next time every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Catch us. We're answering relationship questions. Make sure you send us your questions.
Please. Send us your questions.
Make sure you leave comments in the box down there.
And hit that little bell.
That bell that's
Ding,
going to
ding,
notify
ding.
you that we have a new show coming up. And make sure you subscribe, comment, like, and share. Share on all social media.
Tell us other things you want to hear.
Yep. How can we reach you, Doc?
You can reach me on Instagram, The Real Dr. Jackie, or on Facebook, Dr. Jackie Walter.
And I'm Dr. Heavenly. You can reach me at drheavenly.com.